Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're talking about digital goods. This is a new story that I'm working on and just wanted to share with everybody. It's a science fiction screenplay currently about a woman who thrives as a virtual environment creator. She is autistic and otherworldly, finding passion for making these detailed worlds the first time she ever played Tron. By 10, she recreated all of World of Warcraft inside of VR chat. And by 20, she had 21 of the most populated cities on Earth converted into a new game engine that she built specifically for digital worlds. By 22, she was the most wealthy person on the planet, which was tilting further from the physical to the digital. More people were spending their days inside of distant virtual lands instead of wherever they were. It was just called Earth, and despite the confusion at the start, whenever someone said that they were getting on Earth, it was pretty quickly understood. Unbeknownst to Leona, our main character and the creator of Earth, the true creators of this planet were plotting on all that she accomplished. The wealthy elite that ran the world, that bought her company, that allowed her to continue making worlds while they promised to take care of the business, they did not have the same heart that she did. They knew that the planet was dying, and they knew that they were at fault. In 10 years, the planet would be uninhabitable, and they needed a backup plan. While Leona created all the magic she could imagine for the digital haven she believed in, the hustlers that drained the world were secretly repurposing her creation for a complete transcendence of the human race. They would map everyone on Earth through deterministic and big data-driven means. They would build an ark, announcing a lottery system for the species to continue living in space as the world was about to die. People would be announced, believing that they just won the greatest odds of all time, and this would fill up about half of the ship. Workers that would maintain the few non-automated systems that they needed to stay alive. It was 1,000 people all around the world, all seemingly random, but purposefully picked for their ability, for their health, and for whatever biases the wealthy elite didn't acknowledge when deciding who would be serving them. Because the other half of the ship was filled with the very reason this project was ever possible. And that's the billionaires who gave everything that they had to keep their lives while everybody else died. The ark was filled, the working class and the rest of the world unaware that the ruling class was still hidden away behind walls that they didn't know how to see. Earth was on board, along with all of her digital people that continued living their lives, not knowing that they were NPCs. A copy of the world that was about to be shot into space that would contain all of us without our knowledge. The first protagonist is inside the machine, seeing the world fall apart and change drastically over the next year. She starts seeing the cracks in the system, the repeated days and time not feeling like time anymore, and questioning if her world was real. And all of that would stop the moment that Leona starts talking to her from aboard the Ark, letting her know, like a otherworldly, heavenly figure, that she is a copy of herself, living inside of what was now a digital playground for the wealthy elite to do whatever they wanted for all eternity. They would cruise through space, the working class still on board, keeping the day-to-day jobs maintaining order, while the wealthy elite continued to be literal gods of the Earth, doing whatever they wanted. Neural links made Earth feel like you were walking and talking just like you are now. All the electrical signals perfectly mirrored from our physical forms. The main drama will come from the working class slowly discovering the other parts of the ship also had people. Governmental woes as trying to create fair systems for people get called into question. Also, Leona coming to terms with being on the wrong side of the arc and not fitting in with the people who are solely responsible for the world dying. Leona wanting to be a good person and allow the worlds that she made to be for everybody alive and not just the people who could afford it. Also, with her taking pity on the digital main character who realized that her world isn't normal. She will give more and more admin rights to this character, testing to see if a digital version of a person would behave morally with the same power that the wealthy elite were now abusing. She will learn as the audience does that there are no real differences between the digital person who now views her as a god and herself. While the working class on board start noticing there are more parts of the ship than meets the eye, she will be plotting. When they finally confront the wealthy elites in their resource-hungry ivory tower side of the ship, she will be working on a plan to remove the remaining humans from the equation entirely. and allow Earth to soar through the cosmos on a solar-powered autopilot like it has been for billions of years? Will it doom humanity to be ghosts in the machine, or does she know exactly what needs to be done to save all of us? And that's the story. It's still being written, and I'm trying to decide a medium that I want to write this for. Right now, it looks like a television screenplay, a pilot where the world is ending and we're seeing a different dozen outlooks as humanity shows its true colors in a time of crisis. And as the season goes on, we pull out and get more and more of the information until we realize that Earth is digital, the world has died, and ultimately nothing has changed. But I'm also thinking it could be a movie or an animated series. Imagine Earth and digital Earth being two different animation styles, because we need some kind of way to differentiate the two when it's made clear to the audience, similar to how Westworld does it, so it's not confusing where we're actually at. In season 1, I'm thinking this will be the big twist, like someone inside learning that the story we're seeing on Earth isn't actually the world that they think it is. You know, them noticing the cracks like I talked about before, and the limitations of the machine now that the billionaires are playing with it and the system is getting bogged down. The biggest tornadoes you've ever seen, the most heinous things possible, because the billionaires don't view them as real people, but video game NPCs. Unchecked, they would overwork the system, they would abuse the people they didn't acknowledge, and finally need to be stopped for the greater good of those inside and outside of the machine. Maybe season 1 ends with Leona speaking from the heavens, after our digital main character realizes something is up, but feels too crazy to tell anybody else about it. Maybe she notices time isn't synced correctly, or her memory starts getting funky as the machine writes over her old memories because it's running out of hard drive space. I'm not sure. I'm, kind of just spitballing here. I just wanted to share this with y'all. I'm really excited about this story. I think it acts as a mirror for the real world and the current status of billionaires being this thing that are beyond mortal comprehension, right? I literally could not imagine what it would be like to exist like that. I love the idea that billionaires aren't going to stop consuming until the government tells them to stop, and when the government is just them, they will consume to the point of killing our planet, and they will leave everybody behind. And overall act as a fable on why we need to love each other more, respect each other more, and create governments that continue to evaluate the needs of those in this equation, and not just let the billionaires not pay taxes because of systems that were written 80 years ago. And honestly, I think that's a story that we just need in the world. Now, I'm just a little YouTuber. I did reach out to a couple other YouTubers about this and maybe do like some kind of collaboration, or, I want to find someone to write this with, or, find a team. I want to build a team. I want to start creating things that aren't just me sitting down and writing these stories that I love and just get so encaptured by. I reached out to Heavy Spoilers about this story idea. Paul seemed to really like it, but so far it's just me. We talked about doing a little collaboration. We'll see what happens there. Ultimately, I would just love to hear your thoughts about all of this, about maybe the possibility of crowdsourcing, about how this story could exist, about cool things that come to mind when you hear this. If you liked it, if you hated it, I would love to know. I have been sitting on the story for about 6 months, covered my wall in this, made the pilot, and didn't edit the first draft. So it's been a bug in my ear ever since. I'm making this video so that it exists in some form, and hopefully y'all give this, a thumbs up. Hopefully y'all enjoy this, and it gives me the inspiration to finish it. Then I can start figuring out how to get this script in front of other people that read scripts. It's a step that feels pretty impossible from where I'm sitting at right now, but we can't let the mountain get ahead of us. We got to take that one step, and we got to, just go from there. So let me know if you want to see digital goods. But with that, we come to the end of the video. Special shout out to Michael Link over on Patreon. Special shout out to everyone who supports this channel, even though I'm not doing like what everybody else does, If you want to support this, if you want to support my content in general, thank you so much. Check out Patreon. It's a great place. Also, check out the membership, which should be available under this video. I did set it up. I'm not too sure how it works. It's a brand new feature to me. So yeah, much love, everybody. I cannot wait to talk to you all again soon.